Hi, friends. Welcome back to another review. Today I'll be talking about probably one of the newer games I've played and have been released, which is Stray. Stray is a platformer adventure game set in a cyberpunk world where you play as a cat. When I first saw this announcement quite a long time ago for the game's release, I was ecstatic, by the way. As you've seen with my other videos, I love my cats. I have a few cats. You've only seen one because he's the only one that likes to hang out with me in my room. But I'm very much a cat person. So a video game where you get to play as a cat, not to mention in a cyberpunk world, um, I would say was wonderful to see. There's not much um extravagant about gameplay aspects. It's pretty simple since it's like no combat, nothing like that. There's a little bit of like a weird combat-y thing in the middle of the game, but it's not like an official system or anything. So I think it's restricted to a single button by that point. But you really don't have that many buttons because you really don't need that many buttons in that game, and that makes a lot of sense. You get buttons to move around, jump on things, the dedicated meow button, or I think that's a wonderful thing. And really, that's all you needed for the controls was the jump. They have fixed points pretty much where you can jump. Um, Pretty much anything down a line where it doesn't nothing's obstructing, you can jump on top of. You can jump down. There is of course a limit to how high and everything. So it's a well designed platforming structure to the game. Um, there's the plot mainly is that it seems to be quite a while after humans have gone from what you've seen extinct. There's no humans left. It's all these robots that were built at first as pretty much these maintenance drones or these kind of service utility robots. In a way, they were built for jobs and everything. And with how they start in robot things, they always start as just autonomous, non-feely, non-thinky kind of robots. Granted, they did a cool thing here where robots looked at humans and saw them as um well enough to imitate, and so the robots that you do find throughout the game feel human because of how much they've looked at human media or used to watch humans and kind of took after them. It allows the game to fit that really cyberpunky feel without feeling like it is like a dark story in a way because humans dying out and such, but it doesn't go to where like deadly robots or you're a cat being hunted or something because you're flesh and bone. No, these robots actually seem to love you. There is another eight like a little alien mutant monster thing that is in the game. They look like head crabs from Half-Life almost. They're part of the story, but they're like almost like the third aspect of the story. They're not really that important. They're meant to be kind of this obstacle more than like a plot point. I think they are a plot point because I think they're what made humans go away in the first place. But at this point, they're more of you're like, oh, don't touch them; they'll try to get you, kind of thing. Um, Fair warning for this game: if you love cats, it'll make you love them more. That's not the bad part. The bad part is there are moments in this game where your cat will appear injured because they have gotten injured, and then when you see an injured cat, man, it's the saddest thing on the planet. So keep that in mind when playing this game. Don't go in thinking the cat's going to be jolly the whole time. There are moments where you're gonna get a little sad because of it. You do get a little robot friend throughout the game. He helps you by deciphering what the new kind of language is. That way, as the player, you can read the things because the cat's not going to be able to read them to you. And that's a wonderful thing to me. They could have easily done a thing where, oh, we built this collar for cats and it makes them talk, and then you have like a voice for the cat. I don't believe there's a single voice in this game, and it's done so well that I barely even noticed. It is a more story driven game, so keep in mind there's a lot of reading and stuff, but that's not a bad thing, I think. The best thing about this game is that they made the cat. It wasn't the case of like, oh, it's an adventurous cat or something, or it wasn't like a, this cat's destined to save the world or anything like that. It's a cat. You play as a cat. They really could have murked it with some things like, oh, the cat can talk, or telepathy or something, or anything. But just being able to play as a cat, I almost just wish they would release games that were all about that. I think they are a company that's kind of wants to push towards that. Um, oh my god, this is sorry. It's late into the morning now. Um, I completely forgot my normal stuff. Which, by the way, anyone who watches this all the way through, I do promise you that coming this weekend, I'm going to start actually sitting down, writing like scripts and everything. That way, everything's a lot more settled and everything. I just haven't quite sat down and done anything yet, but this weekend I have a little bit of time to do stuff like that. So, um, the developer was Blue 12 Studio, and the publisher was Annapurna Interactive. This came out on July 19th of 2022. So, like I said, probably my newest game to be reviewed. You play as this. By the way, you play as like an orange cat. You do start off the game with surrounded by a couple cats. I did think the idea was that you get to choose which of your cats you get to play. Um, I think I would recommend that to developers in the future if you want kind of a more structured thing. Uh, if you ever do an update, I should say, just have one of the four being able to be picked. Like that way, you just get like different looking cats to play as. Now this little orange guy, he's a treat to play as though. As you've seen in Milkshake, he's orange and white, so he doesn't quite match. But I have quite a bit of experience. We have another cat that is like pretty much fully orange, but more furry than the cat in this one. Uh, I do hope this game does have a little bit of a modding community. It's not super crazy like some games are, but you have seen a lot of people just mod in their own cats. I think that's wonderful. That's so sweet. I hope you were able to find a way to mod where they don't get hurt, because I would hate to see my own cat get hurt. I'd probably start crying, most likely. Um, we, we have seen the very cursed CJ from San Andreas modded into the game. That was super cursed. Um, but yes, a lot of these players that have played this game that have really liked it, they're just cat lovers, guys. They're just people that own cats and think, you know what, I love being like experiencing what it's like to see from a cat's angle. I would almost, based on this game's functionality alone, I would almost want like a full open world city thing, similar to Goat Simulator, but as cat. And kind of this style. I don't want it to be silly like Goat Simulator or anything, but I do want it to be like the same premise where you're playing as a bunch of cats roaming a city or something, and you can get into mischief. You could just help people or something like that. That'd be super cool. But um, sorry for getting a little off course there, but yes, the combination of just being a cat in a cyberpunk world was top notch. There have been games that have been more that I've anticipated for a long time. Some of them have come out and I haven't even beaten them yet or played them quite yet. This game was, when it came out, I literally sat down for like the 4 or 5 hours it took to beat it and beat it. That's another thing. It is a short game, but it doesn't need to be a long one. So um, keep that in mind when playing. You're not going to get like a 30-hour experience. It's something that I would recommend playing through a few times. I do hope they have one like little unlockable vest for the cat that you can get for doing, I believe, collecting everything in the game. But I hope over time they add more and more to, like, just a little extra knickknacks here and there to do throughout the game. It is currently not expensive. $30. It's not that bad for a game that made me feel the things that it made me feel. I will give you that. By the end of the game, I did cry. Um, I won't give any spoilers. None of it's really bad. I'll tell you that now. None of it's really bad or anything like that. To the cat, I should say. But the ending did make me cry because it just really put into my mind how much I adore my cats and how much I'm gonna be absolutely devastated once any of them passes or anything. Do keep in mind if you're someone who has had a cat or is brand new to owning cats, kind of thing. Um, it is very painful for your cat to pass. I've had quite a few cats in my life as I've uh, experienced my life. It's always painful, but do know that you'll grieve for them as you do family. But know that they'll likely want you to be happy once that's over with, and that way you'll likely have another little pet in your life. Pets are the best thing on the planet, guys. Like, other than your family and your absolute close friends, pets are your next family. Keep that in mind. Always be nice to your pets, please. That's, if I'm gonna offer any messages in these kind of things, be nice to your pets because they'll only offer you happiness if you do so. Um, that'll be it for this review. As I've said, I will give you an hour count. It's about 5.8 hours. That's me beating through the game one time. I tend not to sit down and play too many games over and over again. I will be playing through this again at some point, though. I know it for a fact. But as always, I like to ask you to like and comment. If you have played the game, what was your favorite part about it? Do you think it'd be cool to play as a different cat, maybe? Um, would you want, like, to see your own cat in the game if you could mod them in? Would you like that kind of a concept? If you haven't played the game, did I recommend it to you? I really hope I did. This is one of the few games that I'm like, I understand some people might not enjoy that kind of style, but I do recommend most people to play this game because it's just so wonderful to play and see what it's like to be a cat. But as always, I like to ask you to subscribe. If you do, I think are wonderful. If you don't, I still think are wonderful. So it's completely up to you. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.